Okay, so this question says consider the following frequency table. And we've got values of x here, and we've got the frequency here. We've got our data here. So what this means is we've got the value of x 8 times. So 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 8 times. We'd have value 4, 15 times, value 7, 21 times, value 10, 28 times, value 11, 3 times. First part says write down the mode. Now the mode is the most frequently occurring one. So the most frequently occurring is the one that will have the highest frequency because there will be the most of them. So like I said, I've got 8 2s, 15 4s, 21 7s, 28 10s, so therefore 10 is the most common one. So the mode will be this one, which will be 10. Okay, next it says find the value of the range. So the range is the range of x. So x varies between 2, 4, 7, 8, up to 11. So the range is the difference between this value and this value. So the range is equal to 11, take away 2, which is 9. Alright, next it asks us to find the mean. In order to find the mean, what we need to do is to sum up all of the numbers. So I'd have to do 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 8 times, then add 4 lots of 15, 21 lots of 7. So what I would actually do is multiply the frequency by the value here, which would give me 16, and then 4 by 15, which would give me 60. Then I'd add all those together and then divide by the total number for the frequency. So what I've done is I've used a spreadsheet for that. So you can see here I've got my, let's move that over, value of x here, my frequency here, and then I've summed them here by doing 2 times 8 is 16, 4 times 15 is 60, sum them all together, sum them here. This is the sum of the frequencies, the 8, the 15, the 21 here, and I've divided them, it's given me the mean here. You can also do this on your graphical calculator, which I'm sure you just put the data into the table and it will tell you the value of the mean here, which is 7.15. Alright, and lastly we find the variance. So let's just go back to the spreadsheet again. The way this is done is to do the mean, take away the value of x for each of the possibilities. So I've taken the mean here and then subtracted the x value. So this is 7.15 take away 2, 7.1467 take away 4, and so on. Then, in order to work out the variance, you have to do the mean, to subtract the x and then squared. So what I've done is just square this column here. Then I've got to add all those together. But again, because we've got 8 of these, I've done this value multiplied by 8, which is here, and then sum those. So the sum of the squares of the mean take away the value of x is this one, and then I divide by the frequency take away 1. So I've done this number here, divide by 74, which is this one here, and this gives me the variance, which is 8.56. Again, you can do that with your graphical calculator. Just put the data in, and it should get the answer. So I've got 8.56 there. Alright, that's the end. Okay, this question says let v equals -10 to 1 and let w equal 3 -4 0. It says find the angle between v and w, giving your answer correct to 1 decimal place. So this question is about vectors and then finding the angles between vectors. So you should know that the cos of the angle between them is equal to the dot product of two vectors divided by the magnitude of the two vectors multiplied together. So what we need to do is to work out the dot product of these two vectors, then work out the magnitudes of these two vectors and multiply them together. So that means cos theta is going to equal 2 and then -10 to 1 and dotted with 3 and -4 0 divided by, and then the square root of -10 squared plus 2 squared plus 1 squared multiplied by the square root of 3 squared plus -4 squared plus 0 squared. So if I work that out, then when you do the dot product, what you do is you multiply this number by this number, and then add it to this one times this one, and then add it to this one times this one. So that means cos theta is going to equal to negative 30 plus negative 8 plus 0 divided by, and then here we've got negative 10, so that's going to be 100 plus 4 plus 1, so that's going to be the square root of 105, and then multiplied by, this one is going to be 9, this will be 16, that's 25, so that one is 0, so that will be the square root of 25, which is going to be 5. Then I can work out cos theta, which I can use to get my calculator out. So cos theta is going to be negative 30 plus negative 8, which is negative 38, and then we're going to divide that by, open bracket, 5 times by 105 square root, close bracket, equals, so cos theta is negative 0.741. And then I can inverse cosine that, and that will tell me that theta is equal to, where's my calculator gone, we'll do inverse cosine, 137.9 degrees. Okay, so this question says, consider the graph of f of x is equal to e to the power of x over 5x minus 10 plus 3, for x does not equal to 2. Part A says find the y-intercept. Now, y-intercept will be the point where the graph cuts the y-axis, which will occur when x is equal to 0. Alright, so in order to work that out, what we do is we just work out f of 0. So that would be e to the power of 0 divided by 5x minus 10 plus 3. Now e to the power of 0 is 1, so, and then 5 times 0 is obviously 0, so that's going to be 1 over negative 10 plus 3, so that is going to equal to minus 0.1 plus 3, so that's going to be 2.9. Okay, next, part B says find the equation of the vertical asymptote. So vertical asymptote is points where it heads off to infinity, upwards or downwards. So what you should do here is take this equation, stick it into your calculator and have a look what the graph looks like. So if I do that, what I've done here is did it with Wolfram Alpha. So this is the plot of the equation, and then this is the graph down here. So change the range between x is 0 and 8. You can change the range on your calculator, maybe change the vertical range also. I guess if you wanted to, you could use this to find the y-intercept here as well, and just read it off your calculator as opposed to doing it the way I've done it. Anyway, vertical asymptote is this point here, where the graph goes off to infinity and negative infinity. Now that takes place at the x value is equal to 2, so the equation of the vertical line would be x is equal to 2. So B will just be x is equal to 2. Now that is the equation of a straight line for vertical asymptote. We could also work it out from, well, you get a clue here. It says here, look, that x cannot equal to 2. So that gives you a clue where it is. And it also occurs, it heads to infinity when you try to divide by 0. So when divide by 0, so you could also say that 5x minus 10 would have to equal 0, which would give you x is equal to 2. So any of those ways to do it, but the answer is x is equal to 2. Next, it says find the minimum value of f of x for x is greater than 2. So if I go back to my graph again, we can see here this is where the asymptote is. So greater than this, we're looking for the minimum value, which will be the bottom of this curve here, would be down here. Now you would read that off from your graphical calculator and read off what that is. I can't actually do that, but the answer is just over 7. Getting that from the graphical calculator, you would say it's equal to 7.02, which you can read off from your graphical calculator.